Greetings, Cap fans. Welcome to episode 265 of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast. I am Rick Verbanis. I'm your host, and I've got a co host. His name is Bob Lucius, the best gosh darn co host out there. Oh, Bob, we got a thing going on. We both know that it's wrong, but it's much too strong to let it go now. We meet every day at the same cafe, 6:30, and no one knows she'll be there, holding hands, making all kinds of plans, while the jukebox plays our favorite song. Me and Mr. Jones.
Nice. Nice. I like it. That's a
Yeah,
nice call out, Rick.
you like that?
Very apropos
Yeah, do you know who sings
for
that song?
I don't. Oh, hold on. Is it no.
I don't think you'd get this.
No.
1972
Yeah.
by Billy Paul.
Nope, I wouldn't have gotten it.
I wouldn't have gotten it
Any
either.
relation to RuPaul?
I don't
No.
think so.
No.
But what? Wait, what song is that, Bob?
Mr. Jones?
It's me and Mrs. Jones. I
Mrs.
changed it to
Jones.
Mr. Jones.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, why is it appropriate for today's episode, Bob?
Well, we do have a little bit of a love action between
Mm-hmm.
Gabe Jones and Peggy Carter.
Yeah,
It forms an important part of tonight's story.
it does. It does. And in some people's eyes, it is wrong.
It is,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So
One person in particular.
yeah. So I
Yeah,
thought I thought I thought it was an appropriate mashup
yeah.
for tonight's episode.
Nicely done.
Thank you, Bob. How are you doing?
Pretty good, Rick. It's first fall down here in South Florida. I don't know
Oh,
if
okay.
you're familiar with first fall. It's that deceptive week in October when we have about a week of temperatures in the mid 60s early in the
Mm.
morning. And everybody gets super excited, breaks out their long shirts and long pants and things like that, closed-toed shoes, and then next week it'll be back up to the 90s until mid-January.
I gotcha. That's funny. Well, first of all, to our listeners who are listening to this when this comes out on November 12th. So I know you're all confused because we're actually recording this like 4 weeks in advance for a few different reasons. But yeah, it's funny, Bob. Unseasonably warm, right? So in real time, my birthday is tomorrow, and I was curious. I was right before we came on the show. I had uh, looked into what's the forecast for tomorrow, right? So, do you have like a Hey Google or a Hey Alexa or something like that?
Yeah, we do have an Alexa. I never use it
Okay.
for weather though, Rick.
Oh, really? I think that's like the number one thing I use it for. I'm
Yeah,
constantly asking, what's the forecast tomorrow? Because I'm trying to
yeah.
pack my clothes, because I
Right.
go to the gym in the morning at work,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what am I going to wear, and that kind of stuff. So anyway, I was curious for tomorrow with my birthday,
Yeah.
and it said, tomorrow is a high of 69 and low of 50. Now,
Ooh.
talk about unseasonably warm. All
Yeah.
right, so I have spent my entire life in the mid October and being in the Northeast, used to it being chilly,
Yeah.
right? Used to being
Right.
chilly.
Yeah.
But that is unseasonably warm. Now, that was the thought going through my head
Yeah.
when I heard the forecast for tomorrow. So, my response to absolutely nobody who's nobody's around,
Right.
I say, I'll take 69 on my birthday.
And that is
Now,
now is stored in the cloud.
yes. Now, the immediate thought in my head was, oh, I am so glad no one was around to hear me say that.
Yes. That's what you'd like to think. Yes.
And of course, I just put it out there to all the listeners out there.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but
wonderful. That's
anyway,
great.
it's unseasonably warm.
Yeah.
That was my point.
Right. Well, at least your pants will be off. Yeah. So, the thing is, I don't use Alexa for the weather down here, Rick, because it's the same every day, right? So there's really
Uh-huh.
no not necessary.
Yeah.
So
Uh, what do you use it for when you ask a question and how often do you ask a
you,
question?
you know, never. We only use it to play music. It's in the kitchen, so when cooking
Hmm.
dinner, you know, put on a little music. And
Okay.
I don't really
And
use
what's your go to? What's your go
my
to music?
I don't use it at all. My wife uses it when she's out there. The
You don't
two
like
days a
listening to
week.
music, Bob?
I don't. No, no. I listen to it in the car. You
Yeah,
know that,
Bob FM. Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I like to listen to 80s tunes, just
Hmm.
generalist. And yeah, I have a playlist. I'm still using Amazon Music.
Okay.
So my wife and my son, they do Spotify. I'm
Hmm.
old school Amazon Music, so I do have a playlist. But I've noticed my playlist. So my son listened to it once. He's like, "That is like the most depressing playlist."
Oh, what's
And I'm
on it?
like, well, you're right. So there are, it's like songs that probably like, how songs always bring you back,
All
right?
right.
There are
So
certain
this is
songs.
this the wreck of Ella Fitzgerald or whatever the
Oh
hell
yeah,
the name of the
well,
song is?
yeah, that's on there. But like
Of course it is.
going all the way back to like every like terrible moment I had in my life, the song that was playing on the soundtrack for that moment, they're all on my playlist.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, because I have such a terrible memory, but for some reason, it's only the songs that are associated with bad memories that elicit memories. So, like, I don't have like songs. Oh, I remember that. Remember that we listened to that song. It was such a happy time. That doesn't work for me. It's
You
only
don't
the
have. All right. Do you have a song that was on or reminds you of when you were like, I don't know, getting frisky with a girl?
no,
No?
no.
Oh, I have a few.
Yeah. Oh, maybe there's one. Yeah, one.
Ooh. Which one is it?
The Lady in Red.
Yeah,
Remember that song?
I do.
Yeah. What was it? I can't remember his name.
Lady. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. From that was college days, and yeah, I do remember
Yeah.
that one.
All
It's
right.
on there.
That's on there too.
It's
So
on there.
that is there amongst all of your
Yeah,
horrible times. We're
all
gonna
the
throw in a little.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have a little Lincoln Park, and
Mm.
a little bit of Dead Kennedys and suicidal tendencies, and punk
Yeah,
rock.
I don't blame your son for being. Wow, dear Lord. So I have on Spotify multiple mixes. I'll call them mixes. I because I'm old school.
So
I'll call them a mix.
You are Sir Mix a Lot.
Heck yeah,
Yeah.
I cannot lie. So I have, but it depends on the mood I'm in, right?
Okay.
So I have like a 70s mix, which is like a ton of just classic rock,
Yeah.
great
Uh-huh.
or pop songs from the 70s. I have a uh like a like a laid back kind of chill
Yeah.
mix.
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
put that on maybe during dinner. But the one that gets the most is my pool mix because we have a pool in the backyard and I have a
Yeah.
deck, and
Right.
so I have two mixes. I have the full pool mix,
Full pull. Yeah.
which has got I mean we're talking like Jimmy Buffett, Bob Marley, Zach Brown band. And so on, right? So stuff
Right.
that's kind of reminds you of being in like the Caribbean or that type of motif.
Yeah.
And then I've got a pull chillin' mix, which is nothing but the like it doesn't have like a fast Beach Boys song on it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, or
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
It's more of a chill mix.
Okay.
And so those are the ones. Depends what mood I'm in. I'm a
Yeah.
big music guy,
Yeah.
and it changes my mood,
Huh.
and that's why like I couldn't be around Lincoln Park or whatever, because then all of a sudden I'm angry Rick and
Yeah.
pissed off Rick, and
That's my
you
secret,
don't want to
Rick.
hang out with
That's my
me.
secret, Rick. I'm like Bruce Banner.
You're always angry.
I'm always angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, well, interesting. What's your birthday 69 mix? Never mind. I don't want to.
But
I'm
the
sure
temperature, it's going to be warm out,
that it
so
is
that would be
the pool chilling mix,
uh
right? Yeah.
that would be I don't know, the Archies, sugar sugar.
Sugar, sugar. Nice. All right. That's great. That's awesome. That's awesome. We had a little event again. We're recording this back in late mid October, I
Mid
guess.
October.
Yeah, we had an event last weekend where I don't know if I told you about this. We unveiled a specialty beer that
Yeah, I saw the pictures on Facebook. Yeah,
yeah,
with you and
man,
Casey.
it was a lot of fun. We had an event like on a Friday night and a Saturday afternoon, which is like twice in one weekend. I went out, Rick, which was unprecedented,
Mm-hmm.
and and we had our own beer for the nonprofit that I work at. It called Crew Aquifer Ale. So it was a lot of fun, man.
That
We
is
made a
fun.
little money and got to have a lot of friends there and drink beer and yeah, super fun.
That's a good day.
Yeah. They had some fun music there. I don't remember what it was, but it was upbeat.
All right.
It might have been
That'll
your
work.
pool, like your pool mix.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if anybody listening wants to me to share on Spotify, because I made it open, like people can go and share it. Like if they want to hear my pool mix or my pool chillin' mix or my uh 70s mix or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, just ping me. I'd be happy to share it with you.
I feel like we should take suggestions for a Steve Rogers mix. Like, what would
And
Steve Rogers listen to?
and when would you listen to that, Bob?
I'd listen to it just because it was called the Steve Rogers mix.
Yeah,
But yeah, I bet there's some folks in the group that would have some ideas
I
about
like that idea.
Steve
I'm
Rogers
down with that.
would listen to when he's chilling.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I mean, and listen, the MCU has that, where he has his little notepad and he's writing
right?
down,
Yeah,
suggestions and things like
yeah,
that. Uh, so as long as it doesn't go down that path, like, just in general, like what would
right.
Steve Rogers,
Yeah, what
like,
would he listen to?
yeah. And please, please don't want to hear Yankee Doodle Dandy. Don't, don't suggest that.
Yeah, nobody listens to that for fun.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Speaking of birthdays, if you're listening to this on the day it comes out, the November 12th, just a few days later on the 17th, Ed Brubaker celebrates a birthday.
Good old Ed.
One of the one of the most favored Captain America writers over the decades.
Certainly has had an impact.
100%. Yeah, I would love to get him on the show, but I don't think he will ever, ever, ever consider it
Yeah.
because he is so, my understanding. And Ed, if I'm am I misquoting you here, please come on the show and correct me. But my understanding is he is very much upset with Marvel for the fact that he didn't get, I guess, royalties for the MCU and
Yeah.
where the stories were based on his comics, especially the Winter Soldier.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, he gets credited at the end with a paragraph of other creators, which
Right.
is not sufficient, right? So, yeah, I think there's some bad blood there, which is why I don't think he'll ever want to talk about Captain America.
But you should know we're not affiliated with Marvel in any way.
Yeah, and if you want to come on here and share your side of the story, we will give you the microphone.
You bet. You bet. Yeah.
And Bob, we got to get to today's comic.
Yeah.
It is we are going back to 1975, and this is the part 2 of a 3-part story that we're doing. This is the long tail story. We're following up on the Secret Empire and the Nomad arc to the last 3-part story arc by Steve Englehart. And it's knowing it's his last story, he decided to bring the Red Skull in. And it is a whopper. If you haven't listened to part 1 of this story, it's very easy. Just go to episode 260, and you can listen to 260. And you should probably do that if you haven't already. That's Captain America 184. And today we're going to cover part 2 in Captain America 185.
I've been hanging on the edge of my seat for these, Rick. So very exciting.
Yep.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. This Monday night, witness the end of an era. John Cena takes center stage for his final appearance ever on Monday Night Raw. One last match, one unforgettable farewell. Come celebrate the legacy of a true WWE legend. Monday Night Raw, November 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, only on Netflix. Be there for the moment everyone will be talking about.
All right, should we get to today's cover, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, what a dynamic cover, Rick, right? I mean, we're in some sort of laboratory and we see the Red Skull with his fist clenched, raging on an oversized monitor on the wall. And then we see Captain America front and center, and he is like, there's like 5 or 6 of these Red Skull soldiers strewn about the place. And Cap is smacking one in the chin with his right hand. He's just winged his shield at another's face, and coming through the window with his wings spread wide, swoops the Falcon. It really is a stunning cover. It captures all that action that you come to expect from a Cap comic.
Yeah, it does have a ton of action, and it pulls you in. It has a ton of bright colors that pulls you in. It has some really good um, speech bubbles, and that is really cool too. Uh, and it says Red Skull says, "You're hopelessly outnumbered fools. The Red Skull shall yet triumph. The only way you'll win this day, Skull, is over our dead bodies. That can be easily arranged."
Great stuff.
Right? And
Great
then
stuff.
I like the little
Yeah.
block at the bottom. Please, you must not reveal this issue's shattering shock ending. Now that's good marketing right there.
That is it. That's it. You know, the
Right?
other thing, Rick, is yellow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of yellow on covers. I don't know about you. I don't know the science
I
behind it.
am.
I know you do, but like the yellow covers always pull me in.
Yeah. One of my all-time favorite Captain America covers of all is by Mike Zeck. I think it's issue 275, and it's a yellow background, and it's Cap by himself holding his shield, looking up, and you just see all these bullet holes on the ground around him. So
Yeah,
he's
I
like
know that one.
yelling
Yeah.
at the sky, and it's just
Yeah.
bright yellow all around him.
Yeah.
And then the other side, one of my favorite all-time covers of Daredevil is a Frank Miller cover, which is Daredevil in shadow holding Elektra's sai in each hand, and he's jumping down while all these arrows are flying up, and he's avoiding all these arrows, and there's a bright yellow background. I think there's something to be said for that yellow.
Yeah, I do too. You know, I've had this is not a product placement, but I've had 3 Nissan Xteras in the last 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite of those 3 was this color yellow, and it just made me happy to see it. When I walked outside and I saw it parked there, the color just made me happy. And there's something about this color yellow, which I think I've told you once. I went away for like a week, and I came back, and my Marines painted my office this exact shade of yellow.
Did you know?
Yeah, yeah, and they put up these very bright red velvet drapes in my office because I complained that like the paint was like a vomit colored puce. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll take care of that for you. And I left, and I came back, and it was so bright it hurt my eyes to sit in my office.
I bet. Well,
Yeah.
see, you made a mistake, Bob. So I'll point this out to you. As someone who's in marketing, I
Yeah.
understand the psychology behind colors. And this is a long time use amongst major brands, and especially when they do their logos, and how is their logo, that is such a huge decision, and the color that your logo is going to be is such a huge decision, and there's a psychology behind each of them. So getting into yellow, especially a bright yellow, is associated with cheerfulness, and it is linked to happiness, optimism, creativity, and these are all great things. However, in large amounts, like your room, it could be overstimulating.
It is overstimulating. Yes, it did overstimulate me. But I was Rick. That blows my mind. I always thought it was the result of evolutionary psychobiology, and it was because we are descended from monkeys and bananas are yellow.
Hmm.
Oh well.
Okay. That was a long way to go for that, Bob.
It was. It really was. But I had to take the shot.
Yeah. Are you proud of that one?
I really am. Yeah.
Good for you. As long as you're happy with it. All right. This getting back to the cover. So this cover is the art is by Gil Kane and Frank Giacoia. So they have been doing the covers for a little while now. No stranger to Captain America. 25 cents, Bob. A nickel. I'm sorry, a quarter gets you
Quarter.
this back in
Yeah.
1975.
That's a deal. I'll
Yes.
take that.
So this had a cover day of May 1975, but the release date was February 11th. Now, the creators, we mentioned the writer, Steve Englehart. Pencilers, guess who's back, Bob?
Frank.
Frank Robbins. So
Yeah.
last issue was a fill-in by Herb Trimp, or is it Herb Trimpy? I'm not sure. It might be Trimpy. I might have said it incorrectly before. Don't quote me. I don't know. But also, and by the way, this is Frank's got 5 more Cap issues after this one, so he has a little bit more of a run to go. And then also, it's the return of Sal Buscema.
That's right. He has a few pages here.
Yeah, he does the opening dream sequence. Oh, I gave that away. Inked by Frank Giacoia, colorist Stan Goldberg, letterer Tom Orzechowski, editor Len Wein. I would love to read you a solicitation, Bob, but I can't find one.
Oh, well, that's a shame. I love those.
I know. All right. Let me get to my copy here. And I am intrigued by this cover. I can't wait to get into this. So the title to this one is, Bob,
Scream the Scarlet Skull.
that's kind of a funky.
It really is.
He's the Red Skull.
Yeah.
I know you're going for some alliteration here.
Really, it's hard to say like over and over again.
The Scarlet Skull.
Yeah, Scream the
Yeah.
Scarlet Skull.
And what we see here is Captain America in his uniform. And he's standing and he's kind of in a position where he's defensive. He has his shield up over his head and he looks worried. And what's all around him, Bob?
We have a bunch of floating heads, Rick, of various foes, such as Betroch. We see an AIM scientist. We see Baron Heinrich Zemo, Dr. Faustus, Moonstone, the Fifth Sleeper, and there's a floating Nazi head in the back.
Yeah. And it reads, nightmares. They seem to strike Steve Rogers often. All my old enemies closing in for the kill. We turn from the splash page, and then these gigantic hands are chasing him as he's kind of climbing up and running up a rocky hill. I beat them all over and over again, but it won't hold them back. No matter how I twist and turn, no matter what the disguise, they always find me. But maybe I've given them the slip this time. Of course, for they are rabble. You have but one worthy opponent, Captain. That voice. I know. Oh, no. And he's got the biggest look of horror on his face. And it's a gigantic, cloaked Red Skull. It almost looks like he's number 1 from the Secret Empire. And he's grabbing Cap in his hand. So he's holding him like a doll. He's so large. You can outrun the others, Captain, but you and I have jousted since our world was young, eh? We cannot lose each other, for we are opposites, and opposites forever attract. I need you, and you need me. And Cap just yells out, no. And then he wakes up in his bed, and he's kicking and he's punching and the covers are flying off and Cap realizes it's a dream. Bob, what the hell bed is he in?
Well, I was thinking that, Rick, because it does appear to be a 4-poster bed with a canopy that has ruffles. And then I thought, well, I don't think he's home. Right. So this isn't like his bed in his apartment. And I'm also a little bit ashamed to admit that I have a bed like this. So yeah. So when I was living in Indonesia, apart from my beloved, I kind of went on a shopping spree, and I went to a furniture expo in Jakarta, and I fell in love with this ornately carved 4-poster bed, and I was like, I must have it. So I ordered one, and they're handmade and had it made, and then I went out and I bought all of the sheer like curtains that go around it, and then the cover,
like a bug net.
Yeah, like that's it's less romantic that way, but yes, the mosquito netting. And then I had it shipped, and I didn't put it together until I got back to the United States, and I finally set it up in Casey and mine's first apartment, and she's like, "What the heck is that?"
You're like, this is where the magic happens.
That's exactly right. 2 very different ideas about furniture taste. So it's in the spare bedroom as we speak.
So wait a minute. When Megan and I come visit you, we're going to be in the.
You get the 4-poster bed.
I cannot wait.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he's home either, because now he's out on the terrace and he's like standing looking out. Once again, the railing is way below the waist. It's like
very insane.
Just like the lighthouse. You just gonna fall right over.
Yeah, it is definitely like knee height.
And also, as we pointed out before, Cap sleeps without a shirt.
With pajama pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
Yeah, it is. Comfort first.
Slowly, the hag-ridden Avenger slips from his bed to seek the crisp night air. And in the background, in the sky, we see the moon, that one of the eyes of the moon turns out to be the Red Skull's face. But I know the truth behind the dream. The Red Skull is back. And worse, now that Captain America is back too, the Skull's making him out a fool. Falcon and I were guarding his announced victim. I locked us in to make sure we were safe, but then all the lights went out. And when I found a candle, no more than 15 seconds later, the man was dead, killed by the Skull's damnable dust of death, inside a locked and guarded room. No wonder I have nightmares. How could he have done it? How? And he clenches his fist in anger.
I sure hope we find out.
We don't, Bob. We don't. It's one of the things that Steve Englehart just left out there. We never find out.
Well.
The next page, we go into the Red Skull's headquarters, I guess. And what is the Red Skull wearing?
Well, he's got his like traditional World War II green jumpsuit on. Sans the Nazi swastika emblazoned on his chest, but it's comfy. And then he's got orange gloves, so and combat boots. So it's his work attire.
It is, and he's raising his arms in a very odd fashion that only Frank Robbins would have done. And he laughs maniacally. The total destruction of the American economy is now at hand. The enemy lies in disarray. Only one thing taints the joy I feel at this moment. A mere detail, of course. And yet I cannot change it from my mind. That SHIELD agent, Gabriel Jones, that black swine, with that white woman. There was more than camaraderie there. God, that the fatherland should have lost the war. Now there have been 3 decades more of such madness. Bereft of the Fuhrer's guiding hand, the world has sunk ever deeper into decadence. Decay! It must not continue. It shall not continue. With my plan going so well, I can easily add another front. Hensel, I shall cross these two lovers. And how would you describe Hensel?
Hensel is foolish. We'll get to that, but he is
Mm,
wearing a bit of a metal helmet exposing his face and a grayish sort of uniform, although very dissimilar to what we saw on the cover, where they were all wearing green, the same color as Red Skulls. But here it's colored more of a chromish grayish.
hmm Yeah, and when you say helmet, I think it's almost like an Iron Man helmet without the faceplate, right? Because it
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
over his ears, it goes over his chin, it goes all the way around.
right.
Um, just the face is kind of peeking through. And yeah, he's staying there at attention, but he speaks out to the Red Skull. Might I suggest to Skull that you um, reconsider, perhaps, since your plan is so successful? You think I dare too much, eh? You Hund! You would not speak thus, Hensel, if my defeat had not been so ignominious the last time I attacked America. Would you? And then he goes into a little bit of a flashback sequence. It is true, my arousal of the fifth sleeper ended prematurely. Oh, Bob, I can't tell you how. If I had a nickel for every time my arousal ended
Oh,
prematurely.
indeed, indeed. Yeah, they have medication for that.
When Captain America outboxed me, when did that happen, Bob?
That was back way back in issue 148, Rick. That was like in April of 1972.
But he knocks him off, Cap, in the Red Skull, in the same uniform, by the way. He is falling to apparently his death. But my life did not. With calm control, I reached out for a guy wire, which allowed me to swing underneath the sleeper's torso, and so, from sight, it was a simple matter to hang the.
Hold it, hold it,
Oh, what I
hold it.
what I do?
No, you're fine, but isn't it a guide wire?
That's what I thought.
What's a
This is the
guy
first time
wire?
in my life I've ever seen guy wire. I
Yeah,
was gonna say something, but I was kind of on a roll.
yeah. No, you were. I'm sorry for interrupting, but
No, no, I
yeah,
appreciate because I'm on the
okay,
same page.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
guide wire.
it's a guide wire.
Guy wire. GUY. He has sexist wires even. It was a simple matter to hang there until the enemy fled, avoiding the robot's detonation. And after the explosion, they presumed me dead. But I had only gone to ground.
Damn it,
What?
Rick! Rick!
What?
Rick!
What did I do this
I
time?
just looked it up. It is guy wire.
What?
Yes, a guy wire is a tension cable that provides stability for freestanding structures like utility poles, radio towers, and wind turbines. A guy wire. We're both dummies, apparently, when it comes to wires.
I am a wire novice.
Yeah.
I will cop to that.
There you have it. You know we were going to hear from people, so might as well just nip it in the bat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Should I keep going?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. But I had only gone to ground. I spent the years that day dreaming new dreams, bigger dreams. I carefully considered the failures of my previous plans and realized that I had come to rely more on power than the terror I had spread in the 40s. Terror that made men whimper at the whisper of my name. Therefore, I devised the dust of death to make my prey's faces resemble my mask and brought back my original trademark of Chopin's Funeral March. This time, Hensel, I cannot lose. Ja, mein Herr, but fool! And he throws this dust death in Hensel's face, who chokes and we see turns his face into the red skull. No one questions me. Yeah, that was kind of foolish on his part, right?
Really was. You think, folks who have been around the skull for a while would figure out that he does not like
To
to
be,
be challenged or
yeah.
questioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what else? He probably doesn't like to be interrupted while he was on a roll, Bob.
I'm glad we're doing this virtually.
Yeah. And then the Red Skull presses a button. With an abrupt about face, the ramrod's stiff figure strides into the gloom, his pace in perfect cadence with the mournful dirge he leaves behind. Chopin trembles in his grave. Next page, we cut to Cap with Falcon and the aforementioned Gabe Jones and Peggy Carter, and they are not alone. We fade back in on the home of Oscar Brenner, member of the 12-man Federal Open Market Committee, and thus one of the architects of the nation's economic policies. He's also the next to die, if we read the skull right. Yeah, since your group meets with only once a month, Shield checked out where you guys actually live. The skull seems to be working this way out from Washington, and you're third on the distance list, sir. Poppycock, you can't chart a trend based on only two occurrences. That sounds definitely like a math guy,
It does,
right?
doesn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peggy chimes up. It's two deaths, Mr. Brenner. My dear Miss Carter, I know it's two deaths. That's why I don't care to be considered next. You could easily be wrong. Well, I hope we are. But in the meantime, Mr. Jones and Miss Carter have been sent here by S.H.I.E.L.D., and the Falcon and I are here because we agree this is the most likely place for us to be needed. And I'm getting very tired, very fast, of hearing men tell me they don't think they're in danger, and then asphyxiating as their skin pulls tight across their bones. This is the Red Skull we're dealing with, Mr. Brenner. Of all the men I fought for the dream of America, he's the one I'd most call a fiend. He takes delight in cruelty for its own sake. He lives so far from reality that 30 years after VE Day, he's still trying to win World War II. You can't wish him away. And then Steve's getting really heated here, so Falcon puts his hand on him. Hey, cool it, man. Let down. You can't expect him to know what it felt like in that locked room. Or with Roscoe. That's what it is, isn't it? Roscoe. Who's Roscoe, Bob?
That's Roscoe, who tried to take over for Captain America, but was killed by the Red Skull back in issue 183.
Coo, coo, coo. And Gabe and Peggy are whispering. Cap's sure direct since he came back, don't you think, Peg? I bet it's that Roscoe boy, Gabe. That must have been a heavy blow. For Cap, you mean? Tell me, Peggy, are you still carrying the torch for him? Why, no, Gabe. Not any longer. That was in the past. Why do you. And then there's a loud noise, Bob. And what's happened?
We see several of those soldiers affiliated with the Red Cross burst into the room with their guns at the ready.
And when you say several, I'd say there's about, half dozen, right?
Half dozen, half good half dozen.
Mm-hmm. There he is. He must die for the glory of the Red Skull. Holy mother of pearl. Brenner's the third target, even if the boys left the Skull's theme song at home. Even without music, though, you and me can outdo Fred and Ginger, right? Right on, partner. First you get your licks, then I get mine.
Ah, yes.
This is the first chance we've had for teamwork in a while. And I have to admit it, I've missed it. Well, I don't know, man. Red Wing and me got pretty good while you were gone. And they're just, pummeling away. But Sam thinks to himself, ah, who am I kidding? Even with Reddy's taking mental commands from me, Cap's still the champ. And then we also see Gabe and Peggy who are fighting. Then the Star Spangled Avenger falls beneath three bruising bodies, and the Falcon leaps to his aid. In other words, neither pays any attention to the battle's other front. You know, Gabe, these guys are always amazed that a woman in her 40s isn't completely helpless. Can't imagine why, till I remember how these Nazis looked at me when I was with the Howlers. And he kicks one in the face. Ach, Hilf! Now, Bob, I think that's a pause worth mentioning,
Sure.
right? So Gabe, while he is a member of Shield now, back in the day, he was part of the Nick Fury's Howling Commandos.
Indeed, yes.
And what is he referring to? He says, that's how they looked at me.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, an African American serving with a bunch of white soldiers fighting the Nazis in Europe, certainly he would have been looked down upon.
And then one of the other soldiers leaves Cap, but has the back of his gun, which I can't make it out, but it could be a Luger, which would make sense, right? Because it's German. And hits Cap in the back of the head with the butt of his gun, knocking him down. You'll have help, Heinrich. I'm just as glad to get away from these two. There, that's the black one. We've got the female. Gehenwer. You know what that means, Bob?
I don't. I don't know what that means.
I figured with all the research you did.
I thought it was let's be feet.
Okay.
German.
Instantly, like crack commandos, the raiders are gone. Straining after them, a weaving falcon stumbles to wobbly feet. Jetpacks. That won't stop me. The jet tips in my wings are controlled directly from the brain, and I've been training my brain so I don't have to climb flagpoles anymore. All I gotta do is fly. What's he talking about?
Well, he used to have to get up high and then sort of get some altitude and jump in order to be able to use the wings.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is, I think the readers are starting to realize that he no longer glides with these wings. There's actually something that can propulsion. So he actually just from the ground can just jump up and fly.
Right. Right.
And I think this may be the first time for that, Bob.
Interesting. Interesting. I hadn't considered that. Good catch.
Why else would there be exposition?
Yeah.
That's true, Falk, but there's quite a difference in size between your jets and theirs. The pursuit goes high in the midnight sky, but in the end, shoot, I just haven't got the speed no matter how hard I push. They got away. Dejectedly, Sam spirals back to Earth, and it's only then, in that time of dull reflection, that the peculiarities of the scene just past poke through. And we see Cap with Brenner. They left you, Brenner. They left you and took Peggy and Gabe. Why? I don't know, but thank God. And he reaches for his pipe again. Apparently, Peggy and Gabe were their real targets. So does that mean the whole economic advisors plot was a decoy? Or is the skull simply working out some double-pronged attack with a second unknowable motive besides? And then what happens, Bob?
Yeah, something bizarre happens when he goes to light his pipe. It appears that a red cloud is emitted from the bowl of the pipe. It's the dust of death, Rick.
The pipe. In the confusion, they switched his pipe. Slowly and surprisingly like those cheap horror flicks, cheap process shots, a man's face boils away. The vitality that had filled it withdrawing, the skin like scarlet parchment shrinking across the bone beneath. One of the America's most powerful men gasped once, twice, and on the third beat, we hear a noise, Bob.
Bong, bong, bong.
His grandfather's clock starts a doleful tone a- of Chopin's funeral march. At first, the sheer arrogant theatricality of it all dulls Steve Rogers' mind to the meaning of what his wide eyes have witnessed, but that soon passes, and his roar of defiance can already be heard as far away as this small Virginia cottage, pride and property of one David E. Cox. And it's late at night, and we go into the woods, to this small cottage, and we find Dave Cox with his arm, because I say arm,
Right. He only has the one.
yeah,
Yeah.
around a very dejected Sharon Carter. And Bob, what would you say
Yeah.
Sharon's wearing right now?
Well, she's wearing some loose fitting camp pants and a very revealing red halter top.
Yeah, it's tied behind her neck, in a little
Yeah.
knot,
A little bow back there. Yeah.
Dave, you've been swell to let me talk to you like this. That's what friends are for, Sherry. Yes, but in the end, my problems with Steve are only of interest to me. I just needed to get them out of me, hear them aloud. That's all. I know. Sherry, my only advice is to hang tight for a while. See if he gets tired of his job that keeps him so busy. Hey, you never said exactly what his job is. I can't, Dave. It's secret. Shield stuff. It doesn't matter anyway. It's the excitement he loves. And she just
Yeah.
nestles in
Yeah.
on his chest. So he
Yeah.
has his left arm around her, and she just cuddles in a
Yeah.
very platonic male female way.
Right. But she also just said, I can't tell you what he does, Steve, but it's secret shield stuff.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So then the next panel on the next page, now she's even tighter on his chest. She's got her arm wrapped around his chest, cuddling on her head on his on his chest.
yeah.
Well, I just hope I made a good sounding board. At least your whole family's been good friends to me since I came back from Nam. I owe you all a lot. And then he thinks to himself, but it's more than that, of course. Any outsider can see in an instant that old Dave's gone and fallen for you, Sherry. Fallen for a woman who's tearing herself apart over another man and who doesn't need any more problems from a direction she's not looking. But why did she have to pick my shoulder to cry on? And then in the next panel, what is she doing now, Bob?
Now she's laying down on the couch with her head on his chest, man.
No, it's going a little further down,
Yeah.
right? Like,
yeah.
I gotta tell you. First of all, I have a lot of respect for Bill Cox right
For Bill Cox or Dave
now.
Cox?
Sorry, for Dave Cox.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, take it easy, give him some chance, give him some
Yeah.
time. He's
Right.
like literally being a good guy,
Yeah. He's doing his
right?
best here. Yeah.
Right? He's
Yeah.
not going, yeah, Sherry, yeah, he's bad, like,
Right.
yeah, no, you're a princess. No one will treat you as good as I will. He's not
Right.
like trying to like take advantage of her, which is great.
Right.
So
Yeah.
good for him,
Good for him.
right?
Yeah.
Sharon Carter.
Yeah.
I don't like this version of her.
Sherry. Yeah. She's
I
very
don't like this.
teenage girlish here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I gotta tell you, if Steve was to show up and he saw her like that,
Yeah.
he would be a little upset.
Yeah.
And
Probably so.
I think she would realize he would be a little upset.
Yeah.
So if she
Yeah.
knows better, why is she doing that?
And then he'd go home and he'd mope about it for 3 pages.
That's true.
Yeah. That's the early 70s for you.
Remember when Smilin' Stan used to say, okay, that's enough soap opera for this ish? On with the action? Well, we all learned our trade from Smilin' Stan. So we cut back to the fight scene where Red Skull actually is there, and remember those agents of his that grabbed Peggy and Gabe? Well, they're now sitting in chairs, tied underneath one of those overhead lamps, that shows
Oh
that they're being
yeah,
interrogated.
you're serious about being interrogated if you got one of those lamps on you.
My question is, 50 years ago, when this comic came out, was this tripe then? Like, was this not tripe? An old trope is what I guess I'm trying to say, right? Was
Yeah,
this like an old, I don't know, beat to death type of thing, tied to the chair, lamp hanging over you?
it's very James Bondy, Rick.
Yeah.
I mean, this is right at that right around the time they transitioned to the Roger Moore, right? But Sean Connery, he was tied to the chair a lot, tied to a lot of things a lot, being
Hmm.
interrogated. So I think it was pretty standard fare back then.
So, Fraulein, you refuse to defend your conduct, eh? I have no reason to do so, Skull. I personally saw you holding this dog's arm as you approached Sergeant's lighthouse. Saw him rush frantically to your aid after I blackened your eye. Listen, Skull, if you're going to play that master race game, you could play with me, not her. Why don't you play it with your ear, creep? Ah, such insolence! Were we all not 30 years older, I could believe this was the war once again. But I have those 30 years of hatred to drive me now. Can we turn the page? Yeah, and I've got 30 years of life to drive me. And then what does Gabe do?
He hauls off and spits a big loogie in the Red Skull's face.
That's like a hose.
It really is. Yeah,
The way Frank Robbins drew it.
he saved up for that one.
You, you dare? Any Red Skull retaliates by smacking him so hard that the chair falls backwards. Let it be on your head, then. Confessions would have been for my personal amusement, and I am no longer amused. Je veux perder the torments. Mach schnell! Je veux, Herr Skull. And he gives him like a Sieg Heil kind of salute. Meanwhile, back at the former Oscar Brenner's, and the police have shown up for the dead body. A dead man, a kidnapping, and a hole in the wall. You superheroes play rough, don't you? I know we're all happy to have you back, Cap, but I think you better come downtown and make a few statements. Are you charging me with anything, officer, other than conspicuous failure? If not, I'll have to have a rain check. Cap, come on now. It can't hurt to cooperate with this guy. We've already told him all that we know, Falk, and we've got other things to do. I swear to get the Red Skull myself, in a very real way. He's become a symbol of all I oppose all over again. I'm going to turn this area upside down until I satisfy that vow. And I invite you to join me. Well, of course I'm coming. Don't get your wings in an uproar. We'll stop by later, man, as he tells the police officer they walk away. Once Steve Rogers would not have been so quick to anger, would not have become so impatient with red tape. But that was before 1974. Now he regards his world with a healthy skepticism and an overriding desire to learn its truth for himself. Wow. And now we cut to a scene where Cap's jumping over rooftops and Falk is flying behind him. Wow, we've been at this all night long. So far, we've covered all the Virginia suburbs, moved into Georgetown, and started working our way downtown. and we still don't have any clues. It's all trial and error, fueled by his determination. But I wouldn't have it any other way. After all our hassles, he's still the guy who made me what I am today. And the search grinds on. I think that's an interesting comment from Sam, considering all the problems they've had, that he's recognizing and he's saying it was Cap who made him.
Right. Yeah. Well, interesting for a number of reasons.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. As we'll.
Till dawn comes up like a tequila sunrise.
Oh, I know that one, Rick.
Yeah? What is it?
Eagles.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a whole bunch of different ways to open up the show to you.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe you're doing tequila sunrise.
That would have been nice.
I was thinking about doing that.
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing something and tying it in with spitting, but
Okay.
I didn't go that route.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
There's a few other ways. The dawn comes up like a tequila sunrise, and the sound of steel belt radials pulls up close and hovers. What's a steel belt radial, Bob?
It's a type of all-weather tire, isn't it, Rick?
It is.
Yeah.
I think that was popular in the 70s. I don't know how many people 50 years later would know. A few of us. And there's a car honking. And the driver comes out of the car. Captain America, man wants to talk to you. And he points to the back. Well, it's the president of Roxxon Oil. When was that, Bob?
That was way back in issue 181, Rick.
Yeah, well, it wasn't way back. It was 4 months ago. But
that's a long time for a guy like me.
Yeah. Good morning, Cap. Jones is the name. Hugh Jones. I'm here to thank you for saving my life from that blasted serpent squad. What? But I was the Nomad then. And the public has no idea that Cap and the Nomad were the same man. I'm afraid you've made a mistake, Mr. Jones. Now. I quite understand your reticence, Cap, but believe me, I have my sources of information, and they are reliable. I'll prove it. You'll find the Red Skull in the old Sothens building on I Street. Now, I believe you consider my debt to you paid. Thanks again. And the car drives off. Wait, come back. How do you know that? What does it matter? We'll see more of the mysterious Mr. Jones and his sources in upcoming issues, but at the moment, we have more urgent business at the Sothens building. And now, they're no longer tied to a chair, Bob. What's going on?
Yeah, they are. They're hung up, Rick, and this is a very, very painful way to. So the arms are basically turned to behind, and a rod is placed underneath the elbows. So it puts pressure on the shoulders. It's very easy to dislocate the shoulders. This was how, if I'm not mistaken, how John McCain was tortured in
the
Hanoi Hilton. Why he had shoulder issues, wasn't able to lift his arms above the parallel, perpendicular.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So, yeah.
For 7 hours, you have resisted some of the most excruciating rigors of the Third Reich. But I can continue for 7 days if necessary. And in the end, Fraulein, and he picks her drooping head up by the hair to look her in the face. We'll still be here, creep, and we'll still spit in your eye. And then what does she do?
She hauls off and hurls a loogie in his face.
And that is also like a hose.
It is a fountain. Yeah.
Yeah. And just then, Cap and the Falcon bust through, it looks like, a skylight.
Man, you got to have skylights.
You got to have skylight insurance, is what I'm thinking. Mein Gott! Events pile up on one another. Cap and Falk enter in precision perfection and almost routinely plow through the Skull's personal guard. I made a vow, Nazi, an oath that you'd pay for Roscoe and Glass and Sargent and Brenner and for whatever else you is up your sleeve. And the Red Skull picks up it almost looks like a blowtorch and uses it on Cap, who uses the largest shield I've ever seen over his body, and then Cap kicks him in the face.
Looks like Red Skull took the brunt of that. That's I don't know how to do that sound effect, Rick. It's literally brunt.
Yes, it
Yeah.
just says brunt as he gets kicked in the face. It took me a long time to do it, but I always knew I would do it. And so at last, you're going to pay. You're mine. And he's standing over a fallen Red Skull triumphant. No, you fool. Never, never will National Socialism vanish from the earth. Falcon, it is time. And then Falcon, who was standing right behind Steve, takes both his fists and in one gigantic overhead motion hits Cap in the back of the head.
Blam!
And Steve falls over face first. Ha ha! Ha ha! Finally, now my greatest, most terrifying scheme, and soon all the world shall know that the Falcon is a creation of the Red Skull. You heard it right, folks. But if you want to hear what it all means, you'll have to read our next little epic, The Facts on the Falcon. Dun, dun, dun.
What?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. All right, Bob. We
Yeah.
knew this was coming.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this issue?
It's a good issue, Rick. It's good. It's got some uncomfortable dialogue, no doubt about it. But it is so Red Skull, right?
Yeah.
He is back in his glory, just the way that we expect him to be. No less, not sugar coated, not watered down. This is the Red Skull.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know. There's a lot going on in this particular issue. So we see Cap lose it, right? Cap gets angry with a civilian. And by the way, in if we ever do, well, I'm sorry, the next time we do the Captain America comic book fantasy draft, he would qualify as a civilian. Okay.
I think by most measures, yes.
Yes. Whereas Gabe Jones would not.
Okay.
Right. Just putting it out there. All right. But yeah, he you could see the Red Skull pushes all his buttons.
Yeah.
And he's very, very frustrated that he is back, but also that he can't stop him. Right? There's been multiple deaths underneath his watch, and Cap's really, really frustrated.
He says it himself, right? You're going to charge him with conspicuous failure? I mean, under his watch, under his nose.
Yeah, it's weighing on him so much. I mean, he's having nightmares about it. Right. This is it's a big thing. So what makes a good story? Well, it's when the hero has challenges that he can't overcome, and that it creates turmoil and creates so on. But then there's other factors, right? Like Steve doesn't know it, but his love life is falling apart.
Right. Yeah.
And then on top of that, his best friend, his colleague, his partner betrays him.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Right. A lot going on here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So poor Cap, if you want drama and you want action, this story gave it.
Yeah. It really, Steve Englehart basically wrapping up his run with this issue. A little bit more in the next issue, but basically this issue, I mean, he's left a lot of loose ends here, but some really exciting ones, I think, to follow up on.
All right, Bob, I go first.
Indeed. Favorite panel, Rick?
Um, there's a lot to choose from here, and I'm probably going to. Oh, it's really cool. On one of the pages, there's ads,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just put right here. So it says, "Look, friends, you
Yeah.
can win your choice of neat prizes free regularly, plus cash every week. You
Yeah.
just have to sell grit." Remember
Grit
this ad?
magazine. Yeah.
Yeah. Now look closely on that name bracelet. Do you see there in the
Oh
middle?
yeah. Yeah.
What's it say?
Is that Richard?
It does. I
Yeah.
can't tell you. As a kid, I probably saw that and I was like, I should get that. All right,
Did you?
getting back.
You didn't though, huh?
No, I sure didn't. I do seem to recall that I sent away for something in a comic book, like it may very well have been Grit, and uh, and then you were supposed to sell this to like neighbors and friends and family, and oh my god, I was like, yeah, that didn't work out.
That was yeah. That was your
Yeah.
first foray into multi-level marketing, or
Uh huh. Yep.
yeah. Okay. All right.
Yep. Um, I'm going to go with page 14, panel 3. It's the one where Cap says, "Right on, partner. First you get your licks, then I get mine." So I I like this one because of the way Frank Robbins draws Cap. It's very dynamic. It's very different. Um, and it's not too funky in a way that sometimes Frank Robbins gets criticized for. I mean, he's got his left boot out and kicking. He's got which we kicked a gun out of someone's hand, who at the same time was shooting Cap's shield, who he was protecting Werner behind him, and then you know he's got his hand on the Falcon as he's kind of jumping over the Falcon. It just got a lot of dynamicism to it, and it just stood out to me. It's not, it's similar to other poses I've seen, but not quite to this extent.
Interesting. Okay.
How about you? What's your favorite panel?
Well, first I want to say, yeah, Frank Robbins does get, a lot of guff, and there are some weird poses that he does indulge in. But I really enjoyed him in this issue. I really
Mm,
think he did well by Red Skull. For me, it really evoked Golden Age Red Skull.
mm.
Just in the way that he was rendered here. So I thought it was,
Very horror,
yeah,
scary.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's of course, one of Frank's fortes. So very, very nice. But I really like the panel. I'm working off the digital here, so it was around page 6. It's the end of when Red Skull is recounting his escape from Captain America in issue 148, and so I think it's around page 6. But it's a very thin panel. It's the second one on that page where he's got his arm across his face, and you just see his eyes leering above his arm. And he says, and I realized they had come to rely more on power than the terror I had spread in the 40s, terror that made men whimper at the whisper of my name. And I love this panel
Yeah.
because it has his eyes over it, but in the background, we see him leaning over a podium.
Mm-hmm.
And he's yelling into the microphone with one
Very
fist.
much Adolf Hitler like.
Very, very much. Yeah. I think this is like just a great Frank Robbins illustration right here.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that one. All right, Bob, what's going on your T-shirt?
The page prior to that, the first panel, upper left, where we see Red Skull with his weirdly twisted arms, and he says, "Ha ha ha! The total destruction of the American economy is now at hand. The enemy lies in disarray."
You want that on your shirt.
Oh,
You want to walk around with that.
Yeah, I do. I want that on my shirt. Yeah. Yeah, it's such a Red Skull thing to say.
But why would you want to say it?
Why not? Dude,
All
I
right.
tell you, I have a whole select. I think I told you this before. I have a whole selection of T-shirts that I wear when I go grocery shopping on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I just add this one to the collection.
Okay.
Anybody want to call me out? Anybody? No. Okay, I'll go home. But then, now it's a little bit scary because we have open carry in Florida, so including apparently at the grocery store.
That's, I think, another reason why we're not moving to Florida.
so, so yes.
Add it to the list, Bob.
Now I got to go buy a handgun.
Mm.
Just one more expense.
I like the ones that just walk around with the automatic like AK-47
Oh, the
strapped
long guns.
off their back.
Right.
Yeah, those are the ones who will just walk around like that.
You never know, Rick. Could be a wild animal, a lion or something that escapes the zoo.
I thought it was all because of back in the when we did this was because of we needed a militia.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They never know when they have to go up against a tyrannical government. Is that why they're doing it?
Apparently that was the original mentality. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going. Let's just keep going.
All right. Your T-shirt?
My T-shirt. I'm going to go with the opening splash. I'm going to go with the opening splash where Cap surrounded by all those floating heads that you mentioned.
Yeah.
That's a cool T-shirt, right?
It is a cool T-shirt.
It's Sal Buscema.
Yeah.
It's classic looking Captain America. And it's got a whole bunch of villains all around him.
It's an angry Batroc, though,
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the cheerful Batroc. But
Yeah.
I get, it is a nightmare, so.
Yeah, right. I'm not a big fan, and Sal does this a lot. I'm not a big fan of the man yelling with his mouth wide open with the saliva connecting from top to bottom.
Yes.
Those little white lines in between the teeth.
The frothy yell.
Yeah. He did that on Hulk all the time.
Yeah.
He did, not a fan of that.
Right. Maybe he had like a saliva issue and he just thought it was normal.
I guess so, because you saw those spits. They were like freaking hoses, right? Well, I know it. That was actually Frank Robbins. I digress.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, what about your time capsule, Rick?
I'm going to go with the last page. I'm going to go with the last page where it is the Red Skull releasing the hypnotized or under the control of Red Skull Falcon.
Yeah.
And that's the first time we've seen this, and that is quite a monumental time to happen. So I'm like, yeah, you put that in time skull. I said time skull. Put that in a time capsule. And I think anybody would know. Oh, okay. I know that's that story. Now, how about you? What's going on in your time capsule?
Well, I got to go with the Red Skull's preoccupation about the interracial relationship between Gabe and Peggy. Mm-hmm. This is 1975. So you may not realize this, but it was only 8 years earlier that interracial marriage law, laws against interracial marriage were overturned by the Supreme Court. The Loving case. It was a few months after this came out that one of the plaintiffs in that case, the husband, was killed in a car accident. That interracial couple that overturned that law. But in February, I think, of 1975 is when we saw the first interracial couple on television. Do you remember who they were, Rick?
Is that from the Jeffersons?
They're from the Jeffersons, Tom and Helen Willis.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. And so it was still very much in the, in the national discourse, this idea. And, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Did a little research on this, read some op-eds at the time. I thought it was very interesting. Here's an interesting fact. The woman who played Helen Willis, the Black woman on the Jeffersons, who was married to a white man, she was actually married to a white man in real life by the name of Sid Kravitz. Do you know who their son was?
No.
Lenny Kravitz.
No.
Indeed.
How about that?
Yeah, right? So I think this is like
Are you going to go my way?
Are you an American Woman?
Now, first of all, that was a remake
It
of
was,
a Guess Who song.
but you know who was in that video? Heather Graham. That's all I have to
Oh,
say. Yeah, Roller
okay.
Girl herself. Any
Hmm.
case, I think just this topic was a sensitive one in the
It
public
really
discourse
was.
at the
Yeah,
time, and to tackle it as they did in this comic, I think was a very brave and bold move by Marvel. So
it was a bold move, Cotton. I will say, um, it made me think of this. So I first of all, I think it's a great call out by you. I really appreciate you bringing it up because it gives me hope. So I think I'm not going to get into politics, but there are some certain things that are going on within the country that I have an opinion on, and I have said to friends that it's probably going to take 2 generations to get over this,
mm, agreed.
and um, I go back to when I was a kid in the 70s, and it gives me hope. So I remember around this time in the mid, maybe late 70s, living in a neighborhood, and probably half a block away, around the corner, was an interracial couple. And everybody knew them, right? Like everybody could,
Yeah.
everybody knew them because it was unusual.
Right. Sure.
And I love the fact that my kids grew up in a time where they don't even bat an eye.
Yeah. Right.
Th- And so if you ever want to give yourself some hope,
Yeah.
look at that
Right.
because, it shows that with time, things can improve, things can change. And, you know, um, I'm sure there's some people out there who don't like it and still don't like it. All right, fine. I'm not here to debate you on that. My opinion, love is love. It doesn't matter. And I'm encouraged by the fact that, won't, my kids don't bat an eye, and that I'm hoping that their kids won't bat an eye about some of the things that are still people are hung up on today.
Yeah, agree, 100%. Couldn't agree more. And I think it's also important to point out for people who say they don't like modern comics because they tackle sometimes uncomfortable topics that people talk about in regular society,
Yeah,
right?
because it's being thrown in our faces,
It's
Bob.
right,
There's an
exactly, right.
agenda.
It's as Stanley wrote years and years ago, decades ago, that the comics explore what's going on outside your window. And back in 1975, this was a very difficult, uncomfortable topic for a lot of folks, and Marvel tackled it. Right? They exposed people to it, and you know that's what's going on in the world around them. So why not, you know, put it in the comics as well?
Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that was a good conversation. Good conversation. Um, all right. I think that about wraps us up, Bob. I can't, unless you have any final words.
Nope. As always, super fun to spend time with you, Rick, and our listeners, and to go through an exciting Cap story. And I can't wait till next week. Do it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, me too. And if you don't mind, please rate and review and subscribe wherever you listen. If you want to give us a little bit of love, it goes a long way, whether it is a 5-star review on Apple or your comments on YouTube, or if you want to, hey, pitch in and give a few bucks to help support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com. All of it is greatly appreciated. Uh, for Bob Lucius, I'm Rick Verbanis, and we thank you for listening to another episode of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast.